Good evening everyone, and welcome to our Newsreel 19. This year we have another packed show for you. Burnley is at the start of a wonderful new era, with new developments going on all over the town. We visit the opening of the new ambulance station in Burnley. We had a look at the Leisure Box, the new community leisure facility in Brierfield. This former Smith & Nephew's warehouse has been developed into a wonderful new leisure area. And we also attended 3 mayor-making ceremonies within a week. We look at an interesting new shop in Trawden with more than the usual convenience store products on offer. But we start this year with some wonderful news regarding the village of Higham, which is of course the home of Burnley Film Makers.
Thank you, Rowenna. Yes, earlier this year, Higham entered the Best Kept Village in Lancashire competition. And as you can see from the notice board, they were highly successful and came out as the championship winners. We asked Mick Tetley, Chairman of Higham Parish Council, to tell us a little bit about the organisation of the event and how the village all came together to produce a winning entry. Right, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about the competition that the village of Higham has won this year?
Right, the competition's been going for 61 years in Lancashire, and it's every village in Lancashire has asked to take part if they want to do. It's not compulsory or anything else, but we've done it for a few years. We've been quite successful. In 2015 we won our class in the village, so that was brilliant. We then have to go into the championship class once you've been a winner, and you have to stop in there for 4 years, so the actual makes it a lot harder, and it also stops one village winning every year and the others struggling. And to our surprise and absolute enjoyment, we won, and we beat Blackwall, which was wonderful anyway. But no, it was an absolute brilliant to do, and the people that were there, the amount of people came and said, "Where's Higham?" Because they just, it's like everything else, isn't it? I mean, you're covering an area from Carnforth down to virtually the boundaries of Liverpool and right out to the Yorkshire, so it's a heck of a big area.
What time of year did the judging take place, and what were the judges actually looking for?
Right, the judging starts at the beginning of June. They judge, each judge, a pair of judges come round twice, and you've got 2 teams. And then when you get to the final, it's down to the actual final judge, who happened to be the Radio Lancashire reporter who's on afternoon programmes.
Well, thank you very much for that, Mick, and congratulations on winning the award. And we at Burnley Film Makers are looking forward to spending many more years in the village hall. Thank you very much.
We're here today at Trawden Forest Community Centre. Today has been the grand opening of their new shop, a shop that has particularly got an ecological, ethical message behind it. Lots of interesting products to see. Let's have a look round. One of the key people who's been involved in the opening of this shop is Stephen Wilcock, who's Chair of Trustees. So what was it about this location and that really cried out for a shop?
The last shop in the village closed nearly 3 years ago. The library closed 2 years ago, and the children's centre also 3 years ago, and this building was standing empty. It was owned by the county council, and they were looking for a community group to possibly take it over. the other option would have been to demolish it and build houses on this site. So as the community centre's next door, we put in a bid and a business plan, and I'm pleased to say we were successful. And it took us 2.5 years to negotiate a suitable deal with the county council, and we now have the building on a 125-year lease. Yeah.
So particularly really interesting is this corner of the shop, I believe you're calling the filling station.
We are. Yes, we decided if we're opening a shop, we don't want to just be a common garden, run-of-the-mill little convenience store. For people to use it, it's got to be something a bit different. And so this is a filling station, which we feel is very much the way forward. There's certainly a movement towards these things. So all the dried products here that you can buy, pulses, flours, pastas, muesli, cereals, all around there. Below that we have coffee beans, which we can grind in-house for you. Different teas as well, all bought loose, and you can measure them here on our little filling station table.
Can you tell me, why is it important to you to sort of have this ethical concept behind the shop?
Well, we feel that there is a growing movement for this. We're trying to eliminate as much single-use plastic as we possibly can, and we feel that by having this hopper system and this jar system, people can buy small quantities. So if somebody's making a cake, for instance, rather than having to buy 2 pounds of sultanas, they can buy the exact quantity that might be in their recipe and measure it out here with no waste, rather than being stuck in a cupboard until it goes out of date.
Thanks to grants totalling over £1 million from the Football Foundation and Sport England, Burnley Football Club in the community were able to press ahead with their leisure box development in Brierfield. Business Development Executive Ryan Bradley explains a little about Burnley Football Club in the community.
We've been going for 4 years now. We've had phenomenal growth from 2 members of staff, of which you were one back in the day, through to what we are today, where we employ just under 100 people on our payroll. We deliver over 30 different community projects, from health, education, inclusion, through to what we see now, which is our community facilities portfolio. We aim to use the power of the football club's badge and brand to do good in the community. That is our whole setup. We're here as a registered charity. All the money that we make is reinvested back into that charity. Unfortunately, there's nothing siphoned off for new players in the January transfer window. What Burnley FC and the community generate goes back into our community projects.
We asked General Manager Mark Hargreaves about the new complex.
Yeah, sure. So the building dates from around the 1800s. It used to be, most people in this area will know it as the former Smith and Nephews factory. It's been derelict, this site, for about 10 years, and working with a variety of partners over the last 2-3 years, Burnley FC and the community have secured over £1 million worth of funding to bring this part of the site back to life. So there's 133,000 square feet of space in this building, which we are developing into a leisure and education hub, primarily for the benefit of the local community, but also the wider community in East Lancashire. So when this building is complete, which we will open before the site's completely complete, we will have 2 football pitches, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor, 5-a-side indoor, 7-a-side outdoor. There's a 4 badminton court, sports hall, 2 cricket lanes, East Lancashire's only clip and climb facility, which is an indoor climbing arena. Downstairs we've got a soft play centre, dance studio, community gym, a couple of classrooms. So that is all available for the community. Half of everything we do out of here will be free at the point of use to the immediate community.
The complex was officially opened later in the year by then Prime Minister Theresa May. The leisure box is clearly a major investment and can only be of benefit to the people in the area. Saturday, December 15th. A day so cold there was not a brass monkey in sight. But it didn't stop some hardy souls turning out for a Cyclo Cross event in Towneley Park. We asked one rider what in heaven's name brought him out on a freezing cold day like this.
Oh, it's good fun, it's good crack, it's relaxed, you know, it's...
How often do you do it?
Not as often as I'd like to. Yeah, it's in the first race this season. So I'm just sort of dipping my toes into the racing scene again, and hopefully to see where I'm at for next year basically, so... Don't think my mechanicing's that good, is it?
There's something not quite right there. That'll confuse your opponent.
I better go and tidy it up.
Throughout the day there were events for all ages, from under 8s to older age groups who took things a little bit more seriously. As the day wore on, it got forever colder, and our cameraman's nuts on his tripod started to freeze, so he reluctantly decided to call it a day.
On January the 25th, 1945, the Red Army forces liberated Auschwitz. It was only then that the Western world began to realise the true horror that went on in these places. Some stories are so unbelievable that for a normal human being it is impossible to comprehend what these poor souls endured in these horrific, vile camps. On Sunday the 27th of January this year, Burnley once again acknowledged and kept alive the memory of these terrible times. The Peace Gardens in Burnley was the venue for this Holocaust Memorial service. One of the first of the dignitaries to arrive was our Mayor. I asked him for his thoughts on the day.
As always, I think it's a really good thing to do, and to make sure that there's no anti-Semitism in our life whatsoever. We've got to get rid of that, but we've got to remember all the people what was killed and died in the Holocaust, and that's the main thing, the reason why we should be here, remembering those people, because it was a shocking thing for somebody to do, and I really, really hope that Adolf Hitler is lying in damnation forever and a day. And
Father Roger Parker welcomed everyone, expressing his thoughts on these inhuman events.
Welcome in the name of God and of our common humanity. We gather here to remember tragedy and to reaffirm our commitment to a fair and a just...
The lesson was then read by Father Kevin Tierney.
He who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you.
What followed was prayers and readings from many religious denominations.
Prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my cup with oil.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salam and greetings of peace. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, and trust in God, for the Lord is the one that hears and knows all things.
Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist.
let us remember and affirm once again the declaration we made as a Borough Council in 1997.
That's why it's so important that we remember these events so we can educate our future generations.
Finally, it was time for the laying of wreaths and final prayers.
It's very very moving, and I'm really pleased to see so many people turn out. The numbers seem to go every year, and the increased awareness of horrors that happened in the past.
The horrors of the Holocaust should never be forgotten, and as I said, it is incumbent on us, but especially in times when, especially in the times of our history where things are becoming a little more divisive and polarised, it is remember to recall what can happen when things get out of hand, and it's the regret of everybody if ever it gets so serious. But I'm sure that events like this will make sure it does never happen again, and that's why it's essential that we carry them on.
I think it's important for the whole community to come together and remember the atrocities that took place, and it's especially in the times that we're living in today with all the different things that are going on, and right across the world, but also here in our own country, in our own towns. And it's just a reminder for us of how all of us as a community, regardless of faith, culture, religion, whatever it might be, all of us need to pull together.
March the 8th saw the official opening of the new state-of-the-art ambulance station in Burnley.
We came here in late January, and today's the official opening. So it's been work in progress for a few months really.
It gives us the opportunity, or it gives the paramedics and the EMTs the opportunity to train regularly for CPR and for cardiac arrest. And while it's a simple skill, it's something that we don't always go to often, so by having the access to the course, it coaches us through the course regularly. Every few months we can come and practice our skills and rehearse and just keep really on top of life-saving skills.
The first of the dignitaries to arrive was the Mayor of Burnley.
I think it's a fantastic idea, moving it up near to the hospital. It's been coming for quite some time now. I think it's been about 8 to 10 years in the making. All the technology's here, but then again, it's a good thing for Burnley.
You're all right.
Close on our Mayor's heels was our local MP, Julie Cooper. Each of the dignitaries were given a guided tour of this new facility.
Well, like I say, with 10 vehicles running out, plus the PTS, with potentially 16 vehicles on every day.
The very charismatic Mayor of Pendle was also soon in attendance, followed closely by Pendle MP Andrew Stevenson.
I think it's wonderful to see this brand new ambulance station. Previously, local paramedics and community first responders have worked out of Nelson Ambulance Station, which is very old and tired, and also the Burnley Ambulance Station. So having this new purpose-built facility next door to the hospital, which can certainly help working with student paramedics and linking well with UCLAN training courses. I think this is a wonderful addition to the local community.
And of course it's important because for me it's our ability to tell the people of Lancashire and in Burnley how committed we are to being here.
But this training opportunity is, I think, the crux of the matter for me, enabling an already highly skilled team to provide even better service to the patients. And it's really impressive to hear the passion and enthusiasm that paramedics have for the job that they do. Take my hat off to them.
To the organisation actually trying to put out there on the road to do the job. Thank you so much.
After a fine speech by Chairman of the North West Ambulance Service, Peter White, it was time for special guest, Burnley football manager Sean Dyche, to officially open this new ambulance station.
Remember which one?
You are probably wondering, here we go again with another drone shot. But no, this is the Brierfield Model Railway Exhibition. This wonderful display of model railways featuring all gauges was on show on the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of March this year. It had to be seen to be believed how realistic it all was. St Luke's Church Hall, Brierfield, was the venue. Pendle Forest Model Railway Society were here, along with many other groups.
It's obviously something touching that point blade there. As it goes past,
Malcolm Andrews told me about his involvement in this wonderful hobby.
I've got two layouts here today. One of them is new and it's the first time out today. The story behind the chapel, if anybody knows the story behind the Christmas carol Silent Night, apparently it was written because on a Christmas Eve the choir had gone to the chapel, which this is representing, and to their amazement the organ wouldn't work. So, because the mouse had chewed through the leather bellows. Anyway, the story goes that the vicar went home that night, Christmas Eve, and he wrote the carol that we now know as Silent Night, and he composed the music to play on his guitar. This chap is called Mardale and Tyndale. Yes. The name of the particular station is Malgar. So if a child or come to that an adult wishes to just press my little button here, there we go. The train will set off, it will do a circuit and go back into its little siding. Excellent. So to the amusement of children, they find that they can run a layout. Oh, brilliant. And it's not done by mirrors, it's done by relays.
And of course, there is plenty of rolling stock on sale. And if you fancy a brew, there is light refreshments on sale. For the model railway enthusiast, they don't come much better than this. Early April saw our Mayor, Councillor Charlie Briggs, launch a new season of events at the Weavers' Triangle.
No politics now, we're on film.
Right, shall we start upstairs? Because that's where the new displays are.
Yeah.
And if we can have one or two photos.
Brian Hall, chairman of the Weavers' Triangle Trust, showed the Mayor and other guests around, explaining its history and the things that people can see and learn about this wonderful great museum.
This wasn't originally the school room.
One of the most interesting rooms is the old classroom. Back downstairs we have this beautifully created model fairground. Then everyone gathered in the 40s style living room, where we managed a quick word with the Mayor. But first we spoke to Brian Hall.
Yes, what we're doing today is launching our new exhibitions this season. Each year we tend to do one or two temporary exhibitions in the hope that it will tempt people to come back. And this year we've got two displays. One is about Victoria Mill and its story in the past and how it's become part of the University of Central Lancashire. And the other is based on the Burnley Express photo archive that now belongs to the Civic Trust.
It's been a good experience, and once again it's brought back memories of when I was a child at the Mitre, around the Weavers' Triangle, down at Westgate. It's superb.
All in all, everyone had a very enjoyable morning.
May Bank Holiday weekend, and it's time for Highham's Mayfair event. We asked organiser Terry Butterfield how things were progressing.
Things are going great, absolutely splendid. And today, the puppet show today starts at 1 o'clock, and we're on for half an hour, and then we've another show at 3 o'clock. We've got all the refreshments in the village hall, we've got all the crafts up at the school, so everything's going absolutely spot on, really. And no rain, weather's great.
And David, are you here on an official capacity?
I have been press-ganged into making the announcements at the Higham Mayfair this year. So since we have the nice new PA unit for the Higham Hippodrome Puppet Theatre, which is a new venture for the Higham Mayfair, they've asked me whether or not I would be willing enough to do some announcements with my lovely radio voice.
And you succumbed to the arm up the back, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. They did the Chinese burns and the bruising in the places where you're not supposed to see. So.
Will it be on Radio Lancashire? Will this be mentioned?
Yeah, so we have already done some pieces with Radio Lancashire. So Terry and the other puppeteers were speaking with John Gilmore on his programme a few days ago, just to let everybody know what he was up to, and I think he took some of his puppets into the radio, because of course puppetry works really well on the radio, so that was great. Indeed, yes.
Roll up, ladies and gentlemen, the first of the Higham puppet shows is about to take place outside the church.
Your bone's connected to your foot bone, your foot bone's connected to your ankle bone's connected to your leg bone's connected to your knee bone. Your knee bone's connected to your thigh bone's connected to your hip bone's connected to your back bone's connected to your shoulder bone's connected to your neck bone's connected to your head bone. Now hear the word of the Lord.
The day was rounded off with the pupils of St John's School Higham giving their annual display of traditional maypole dancing.
So I think everybody's in position now. So we'll give them all a big cheer as we start our first dance, which is the Spider's Web.
I'm Jill Cockin's parent at Higham and a member of St John's Church.
And you've just taken over, I believe, training the children for the maypole dance.
Yeah, we've trained 18 children, 2 boys, 16 girls, aged 7 to 11, and they've been practicing since March to do 3 different maypole.
Well, good afternoon, Mr Mayor, but I didn't actually see you getting involved in the dancing just now.
Well, do you know, I
The last words go to Pendle's retiring mayor, Councillor Keith Starkey.
You may well know I'm nearly at the end of my mayor's challenge. It ends this Saturday at 1 o'clock at the top of Pendle Hill. And I've been practicing 3 times a week, and this morning I did 1 hour's training, and that is enough for any man.
As an old Higham boy, how do you feel about all these events in the town, in the village?
Well, how do I... Well, obviously, this is fantastic. What Higham can put on, it's down to a very small group of people, but even still, they do put it on, and Terry and Val Butterfield are the main movers and shakers with them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Higham Mayfair. Just to run through what we've got for you this afternoon. So
does he not know I'm the mayor? Does he not know I'm on a live to camera?
The May Day Festival this year was once again held at Towneley Park. The day was a little testing, to say the least, a mixture of heavy showers and sunshine. But of course, it didn't stop Burnley folk from turning out. This 42nd annual festival in Burnley is one of the few in the country that has been held every year since the May Day bank holidays were established in 1978. The main marquee was a haven of knickknacks for the more inquisitive and a shelter from the frequent showers. For those of us with more of a political bent, then there was of course the stage where speeches were made.
Welcome to the Clarion Choir.
Walking, she's walking with me.
This year, our MP Julie Cooper had arranged for the Shadow Education Secretary Angela Raynor to be our main speaker.
Absolute honour it is to share a platform with Angela Raynor. Angela, I know, joins with me in her passion to give every child a chance in life, and her fight for social mobility is second to none. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce the next Secretary of State for Education, Angela Raynor.
Thank you, and it never rains in the north, does it? It is an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm so sorry that you're all getting wet listening to us, but hopefully warmth in our hearts as we remember what this weekend is about.
Well, whatever political party you support, these people certainly ignored the elements to be here with their chosen beliefs.
About enough at the moment, and
I couldn't wait to have a quick word with one of the best looking ladies in politics, and she was lovely. Angela, Burnley Film Makers.
Okay.
May I have a quick word?
You can.
And what do you think about today's occasion?
Well, apart from it being a bit wet and soggy like it is up north most of the time, it's great because in our hearts we're the working class of this country, and it's been a fantastic, event to happen in May when we celebrate where we're from and what we're about, and I've really enjoyed it.
And what about the kids of the future? What do you think?
Well, when we see the schools in Burnley losing 8% of their funding cuts, we're seeing kids eating out of bins. We're seeing, one of the most devastating things I saw was going to a food bank and seeing the nappies and the baby food. And when I was a young mum, I had a welfare state that helped me, and now I pay my taxes. That's what it's about, We want to give people self-respect. Anyone can find themselves in need, and our kids deserve a future, and our schools are losing money at the moment, and if we're going to invest in our country's future, we've got to invest in our kids and give them a good education.
Julie, may I have a word?
Oh, of course you may.
How do you think today went?
I think it was wonderful. The weather's dreadful, and all these people turned out because they care so much.
I just had a word with Angela. She seemed quite pleased. Apart from the weather.
It's the passion's there, we feel it, and I think the people on this field today felt it.
Yeah, and it didn't put them off, though, did it?
Absolutely not. We're the only ones that could get a crowd out like this.
Thank you.
No, a pleasure.
Thank you. No, this is not Blackpool. It's Burnley. Bank Holiday Sunday and Burnley Centre was alive with a fanfare of art and craft stalls, street food vendors and a licensed bar.
Way back when. Yes.
This was topped with a main stage supporting a host of talented musicians. The main supporters for the event were Burnley firms Vega and AMS Neve. The stage was provided by Fagan and Worley. The organiser was Madge Nawaz, who also runs the Remedy Gin Bar in town. The day was a wonderful success.
The Burnley Empire is the last surviving Edwardian theatre in East Lancashire. The Empire opened in 1894, and many well-known performers, plays and shows were staged here. The Empire closed in 1995 and was left derelict for the next 20 years. In 2015, the Burnley Empire Theatre Trust was formed with a mission to restore the building. Burnley Empire Limited was formed to take ownership of the building. One of the directors is Sophie Gibson.
Sophie, what's so special about the Burnley Empire and what made you get involved?
I think that it is certainly a hidden gem in the Burnley town centre. Many people walk past it. It's such a huge, familiar building, yet invisible at the same time. It's really unique to the area and one of the last surviving purpose-built Edwardian theatres in the whole of East Lancashire. So we're really lucky to have it in Burnley, and what's extra special is that it was designed by Bertie Crewe in 1911, who was a well-known theatre designer and architect, and it is one of very few in the whole of the country.
In its day, what sort of shows went on there?
So the Burnley Empire was built purposely as a music hall to attract acts from all over the world that didn't already perform in Burnley. So Houdini performed on stage at the Burnley Empire. Gracie Fields made her debut as a young girl in the audience on the Circle. Madame Paula was a very popular act who wrestled reptiles on stage and snakes and all. Dr. Watford Body, who hypnotised people at the Empire, and it was actually said that he hypnotised someone in a coffin and put him in a shop window for a week for promotion. So a variety, you know, early Victorian music hall acts up to the Rocking Vickers, which included Lemmy from Motorhead on guitar.
Could you tell me now about the work that's going on at the theatre?
Yeah, so after years of campaigning, we got to the point where it was what next moment. It was going up for auction. We had to take the decision to take ownership of the theatre. So from that comes responsibility, and now we have a listed building that's in a state that needs urgent repair. So we're lucky that we've got Theatres Trust helping us, Theatre Search and National Trust supporting us. So we've recently had a grant awarded from National Heritage Lottery Fund, and from that work we're starting to carry out surveys of the building condition to learn more about it. So we're looking at the inside, the outside of the building, and revisiting the viability study as well.
Is there a target date for this phase of the project? And what's going to happen after?
Yeah, so the current funding that we have and the works that we are carrying out, the deadline will be about March 2020. So we have a few months ahead to carry out the survey work, learn more about the building and decide a plan to go forward. And from that it will rely on funding what we can get and attract more attention to keep going forward with further phases of the project.
How can people find out more about the work going on to restore this great part of Burnley's heritage?
You can find more about the Empire and helping online at www.burnleyempiretheatretrust.co.uk or find us on any social media sites at Burnley Empire.
Excellent. Mayor of Pendle, Councillor Starkey, had a final event at the street. It was quite a unique affair. It invited just short of 50 guests. The Pendle Council Chambers to acknowledge work that he recognised as work done behind the scenes. Work that sometimes goes unnoticed. Work that had made a difference.
You tell me have apologies. Well, you don't need.
Your recent.
You don't need to get on your knees,
All
but
right.
can you just go down a bit lower so you get a better sense? All those people, most of them we do know personally. They've all done something, and the whole purpose of it is the ones that are underlined will be saying what they've done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please feel standing for his worship Mayor of Pendle, Councillor James Keith-Starker.
John Hallows will be known to many of you, and 6 weeks after we started the mayoral journey, John sadly passed away. He would have loved this occasion, and I'm so sad that he can't be there, because he really did make a difference, not only to me but also to many in the area. So to John, we all deeply miss him still. Thank you. So can I then invite members, or a member of the hockey team, Pendle Forest, just to kick us off.
Good evening. Good evening.
There are things like that that stick in your mind.
Item 1, election of Councillor Anne Kelly as Mayor. I call upon Councillor Gordon Burgess to move the election of Councillor Anne Kelly as Mayor of the Borough and Chair of the Council for the ensuing municipal year.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor,
Madam Mayoress, Mr. Consort, honoured guests, family, friends, members, ladies and gentlemen. It's longer for you.
I, Anne Kelly, having been elected to the office of Mayor of the Borough of Burnley, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it.
As I said in the chamber, it's been a tremendous year and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I keep on saying that I can't point out one thing which has been best for me. Everything has been absolutely superb.
What are your plans now, sir?
Have a couple of days away on Friday and then come back, start my business up again, make sure that's back on track because it's been hard work, and then just get on with my council work, helping the people of Burnley out.
I'm really looking forward to it, really looking forward. If you're going to do it, you've got to embrace it and do it fully, which is what we will do.
And what are your charities?
Our main charity is to raise funds for a diagnostic scanner. It's one that will catch cancers very early, because we all know if they're caught early, they can be treated properly. The other one is I would just like to give a small donation to the talking newspapers. My mum was blind, and the talking newspapers were a massive lifeline to her.
Correct. Do you think your husband will be of some assistance?
Oh, he will. Oh, he will. Everybody knows John. He works in Marks and Spencer's doing greeting. And if ever you're going at Christmas or holiday times, he'll be there persuading you to taste drink or taste food.
You're retiring, sir. Now then, and how long have you been serving the Mayor?
39 years.
And it's been enjoyable?
It has been enjoyable, yes, I have.
Is there anything that sticks out?
Having the Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh and Prince Charles visit, they're things that stick out in my mind.
Have you enjoyed your time here?
I've loved it, yeah. I mean, originally I came, I just found something else. But, you know, when I first came, first 12 months I was portering in the town hall and that, and then deputy chauffeur's job, I took over doing that, and from there, and I've worked with some brilliant people.
Thank you, David. And from Burnley Film Makers, thank you for your great assistance in all the stuff that we've been able to do. Most of it through you, I must say.
No, you're very welcome, very
welcome.
welcome.
And a very happy, long retirement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, well, you know, I mean, if you want to listen, it's just almost, but not, you know.
Do you have a good time? How do you have it?
Steady on, so we'll cut that bit out.
Get a picture.
I will say yes, that's lovely. Beautiful. Excellent.
That is a lovely shot. No, I mean, we've had a wonderful year. We've seen a lot of what we've done, and I've got a few notes here that I'm going to try and say in half an hour. So no, it almost makes you speechless.
Well, to us Burnley filmmakers, you've been wonderful, and you've been a pleasure to work with indeed. And the night we had last year at our club room.
Oh yes, Higham.
You were the star turn.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Not like Charlie from Burnley.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for his worship the Mayor of Pendle, James Keith Starker.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
I cannot happy.
The Burnley Express has been Burnley's main local newspaper since it began publishing in 1877. With the move to digital production, the newspaper owners, Johnston Press, no longer needed the old photographs and negatives. And with the move to new premises in 2016, Johnston Press approached Burnley Civic Trust to see if they could make use of the thousands of old images. Suitable premises were found within Burnley Town Hall to house the Express's collection, and the task of cataloguing the images began. Edward Walton is the Vice Chairman of Burnley Civic Trust and is the project leader. I asked Edward about what was in the collection.
The collection of images from the Burnley Express obviously is quite extensive. Local newspapers are mainly about people, the people of Burnley and its area, and they were supplied to us in this form with the extensive collection here. Each box may contain 100-150 negatives, and we will scan them to present images on the website. The website will cover all manner of things as in the paper. We would prefer to have buildings, there are events, tales about industry, local government and other organisations, but many of them will have the people of Burnley on. We do like to see quite a lot put on of the town centre, which is obviously a central image for the town.
The Heritage Image Collection is supported by a team of volunteers, and Edward describes how the team are making the images available.
By searching through the newspapers of any particular year, we're able to establish whether we have the negatives for those particular stories which have appeared in the Burnley Express, and our researchers will be scanning the negatives which are held in these boxes and searching through the Burnley Express microfilm to find the stories which related to those images. It is good to be able to find many images which have not been published, and so we can add a little bit more to even the original story which appeared in the Burnley Express.
I asked Edward how important it had been to receive the Heritage Lottery funding.
The Heritage Lottery Fund has been vitally important for this project to proceed. Our initial application was rejected, but on the second application with a reduced figure we've been able to acquire the necessary equipment, the scanners, the computers, to be able to secure the premises that I'm currently speaking in from the town hall, and also it enables us to finance the design of the website being done by PG54.
Painting Padiham 2019 is a very popular annual event and is now in its fourth year. The competition took place on Saturday the 11th of May with over 70 amateur artists creating their unique views of Padiham within a mile of the town hall and the other side of Gawthorpe Hall grounds. The public are welcomed to visit all the artists who are very happy to chat about their creations. The one-day event started at 8 o'clock and finished at 6 o'clock, when all the exhibits will be judged and on display at the Picture House Gallery in Burnley Road.
I've got mud mixed up with the paint on the brushes.
The public were asked to choose their favourite scene, and the first prize was awarded to Gillian Ousby for her view of a row of terraced houses with St Leonard Church in the background. The second prize was awarded to Gosia Gibeck with her painting of Gorthorpe Street. The paintings will be on display for a 3-week period, and in that time they are available for the public to buy.
It was lovely last year.
It was. The whole event was very popular and a tremendous success for the people of Padiham.
One of the problems we have with men with prostate cancer is quite often it's way down the line before the symptoms are found, which happened to me. The simple blood test, the PSA test, can detect it early, and if you do that, it can save lives and have the cancer treated before it gets too far down the line. And men are terrible, aren't we, going to the doctors on our own volition, but to come down here with your mates to the football ground, yeah, we'll come down and get tested. And also, of course, the football club can generate a lot of publicity also in getting men round. That's where we get this fabulous turnout like we have today.
I think it's a good do.
It is, isn't it? It's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Early June and a free day out for our Burnley families. We see the odd inflation attraction at fairgrounds, but on the 9th of June the top end of Queen's Park was full of wind. And didn't the kids just love it? Once again the weather was kind and it was another summer treat for the family.
People were transported back to the 1940s in another action-packed Padiham on Parade festival. Thousands of people, young and old, descended on the town to take part in the 2-day event, which coincided with Armed Forces Day. lots to do, including a variety of live music, a vintage fashion show and clog dancing at the town hall. Padiham Fire Station had a vintage fire engine on display and allowed youngsters to get up close to see how things worked. There was a set of military vehicles on display, including jeeps, vintage cars and this Merlin engine which ran in the afternoons. Other attractions included a bird of prey experience and an RAF fly past.
You swing it and you sing it and you, oh baby.
The Remembrance Parade on Sunday assembled at the Memorial Park with a wreath laying ceremony to commemorate the 1944 Normandy landings. A parade of veterans and current serving members with their families, cadets, local primary schools and local dignitaries marched down the main street to the town hall where speeches and prayers were said.
I think it's fantastic to see so many people here at this wonderful event, and I appreciate the Rotary Club, the annual car show event they're putting together. I think it brings people together. It's a celebration of history as well, and I think these kind of events are a real pleasure to attend, but also they are the best of Burnley and the wider region. I'm thoroughly enjoying this day in particular because
Rotary Club of Burnley got involved with the car show some 35 years ago. It's more of a family day. We've got the members of the club, and besides that the families are pulling their children in and the wives and what have you. We've got a children's fairground, helicopter rides going on.
I'm Terry Butterfield from Higham, and this is my car, the old girl, and and she's an MGTD.
Because a bit like steam engines, you can see all the works on these, and that's half the fun, is the playing around and tinkering and what have you. And in fact,
he was a police mechanic. I'm not talking. He was a police mechanic, and he all brought the Morris Miners out, panda cars, you know.
Yes,
he did all those repairs and that.
Now then, sir, could you tell me a little bit about... oh, sorry.
Sorry, it's been on a diet.
Oh.
I want to announce the overall show winner, which is entry 290 and 1939 Morgan. So please come up to the stage, the proud owner of this Morgan.
Well, that's all for this year, everyone. We do hope you have enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you next year. Meanwhile, if there is an event or activity you think you would like to see in next year's newsreel, then do please get in touch using our website. So good night to you all and a safe journey home.